As your father, my job isn't to create a version of myself or direct your future. My role is to be a facilitator to your hopes, your wishes, your dreams.
I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman, nor will your wife be allowed in my house. You will be allowed in my house. Your wife will not, because I do not support that lifestyle.
Tell us the truth! All right, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, a.k.a. Dr. BOA. Yep, I got time today. Dr. Umar Johnson has been going viral a lot here lately. And sometimes you can agree with what he says, sometimes you can't, sometimes he just be talking crazy. But in this situation, you have to ask yourself, is he right? And people just aren't ready to accept the truth. Umar says if his daughter marries a woman, he will not walk her down the aisle. And social media let him have it. But social media lets him have it about everything. You know, there are certain people that just have a bone to pick with someone, and they just go on and on and on and on and on and on about that person. And I say this, someone told me that maybe I have a bone to pick with Slim Thug. No, I don't have a bone to pick with Slim Thug, man. He's just the total opposite of who he said he was, though. And I just think as young men, I want y'all to understand that if someone says something over and over and over again, and then you look at their actions, and their actions indicate something different over and over and over and over again, then you got to go with their actions, not their words. Everybody can talk the prism of the ism, but who's going to live it? And Umar has said a lot of things, but this is consistent with who Umar is. And now that Dwyane Wade has accepted that his son can become his daughter and openly accepts that, even though there has been no type of sexual reassignment surgery or anything, he still accepts that his son is his daughter. And he admits that he too used to want to be a daughter. But when you look at someone like Michael Jordan severed his ties with Nike back in the day, allegedly, because of this pride Jordan thing that they wanted to do. And this is the thing, man. I don't have to support pride. I don't have to support the Rainbow Coalition. I don't support it. I'm not against it. I don't care. Keep it over there. I live my life over here. You live your life over there. Everything is good. It's the same thing with rich people and poor people. Rich people don't care about poor people because poor people live over there. Rich people live over here. Poor people don't really care about rich people. Poor people live over here in a place that they're proud of. They're proud to call the hood is their pride. They love it. So they don't care about that side. They think that side is the sellout side. They don't even want to go over there. Some of them, you give them $10 million, they still going to stay on that side. That's just the way it is. But let's listen to Umar say what he's going to say about this, man. And we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip. And we'll also listen to Dwyane Wade in the era of all of his ways, man, and how he's just decided that he's going to just let all type of wild shit take place that's not even authentically possible. You can just accept it and act like it is.
When I get married, will you walk me down the aisle? When I get married, will you walk me down the aisle? Baby Smurf, if you are marrying a man that I approve of, I will walk you down the aisle if you would like. If you marry a man, I understand that you have been drafted into the Rainbow Army. I don't agree with that at all, but I love you as my child. It will not affect our relationship, but do not ever ask me to co-sign or support something that I am vehemently against. I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman. Let me say that one more time. I will not walk you down the aisle if you're marrying a woman, nor will your wife be allowed in my house. You will be allowed in my house. Your wife will not, because I do not support that lifestyle. I love all African people. I love you as my child. I love all African people. I love you as my child, but I will not co-sign that. Mama Smurf, I can't believe you let our daughter get caught up in that nonsense. Mama Smurf, I cannot believe you allowed our daughter to get caught up in this nonsense. You should have gave me my baby. I'm talking to Mama Smurf. When you knew you ran out of energy raising our child, when you knew you didn't want to raise her anymore because I wasn't going to marry you, you should have gave her to me. You know why you didn't give her to me? You know why you didn't give Baby Smurf to her father? You didn't give Baby Smurf to her father because your hatred for me was greater than your love for your daughter.
At 3 years old, like I said, when me and my wife looked at each other, right? And the reason we looked at each other is because of this, as kids, I used to put on heels. I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear. When all my sisters did, I try to do those things.
To me, Zaya hasn't transitioned into anything. It's been a transition for the world, but for us, I see the same kid.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't have a problem with what Umar is saying because you have a choice as a man. Here's what people think. They think that you have to accept your children for whatever they are. No, you don't. If you raise them a certain way and they make the choice to become something else, you don't have to support that. It's not your job. It's your job to raise them. But then when they become an adult, whatever they want to do, that's their choice. You don't have to support that. You don't have to support anything you don't want to. You have the right to stand on standards and stand on principles. You don't compromise your principles for yourself. So how you going to compromise them for your child? The problem with y'all is y'all compromising y'all principles for everything. The majority of y'all work a job y'all hate. Y'all got friends that y'all really don't like. Y'all got family members that use you and abuse you. Y'all got all of these things going on in your life and you just accept everything. So you look out into the world and you think it makes you tough to accept everything. No, it makes you weak. It makes you weak to not have a principle that you stand on. It makes you weak to not have a standard that you stand on. It makes you weak to not have things that you're not going to compromise for other people or for anyone for that matter. It makes you weak. It doesn't make you strong. So y'all are falsifying the facts when it comes to strength. The people who stand alone, those are the strong people because they have stood on principles that have made people ostracize them, but they don't care about being ostracized. I care about being able to look at myself in the mirror in the morning and say, man, I love you because you're standing on principles for us. I don't care if y'all can look at me. I don't care what y'all think when y'all look at me because if y'all love me to death, then I can't look at myself in the mirror, then what that mean? It means nothing because y'all can change anytime. I do one thing and suddenly y'all hate me. I got to impress myself. I got to please myself. And that's an example of what Umar is doing right now. And you look at Dwyane Wade, him getting tied up with Gabrielle Union. Man, Gabrielle Union she's a witch of the highest order. When you look at her, dog, you think about the woman who the way she's lived and all of the things she's done, man, like no other man was willing to put her in this position. No other man that's on Dwyane Wade's level. There's a couple of athletes, Dwyane Wade, and I can't remember the last guy. I did a video on him before. But those are the only guys who want to be with her, dog, in this way. Now, many men have slept with her, but I want y'all to understand something, dog. Stop believing that you need to do whatever you need to do to cater to what this society wants. Because this society is going to hell in a handbasket. And it's not going to be a long ride. It's almost there. Now he's rolling fast down the steep side of the roller coaster, and there is no other hills going up. It's going all the way down. So stand on principles, man, and don't let people dictate to you what you ought to be doing, man. Like people say, man, well, if you like, let's say, man, like Umar has he has a pretty messed up relationship with his daughter, man. But who knows why that happened, dog? Who knows why that happened? You got a bunch of people, man, who say that as a man, you're supposed to make the emotional compromise and do all of that. No, you're not. As a man, you're supposed to stand on the damn principle. You're supposed to stand on the principle and be a man, and anybody who can't go along with that, then that's on them. So yes, it's easy to say, well, a man should do this and a man should do that, and a man should do that. Well, how come the majority of things that a man should do come from women and feminine men? Why is that? Because we live in a society where real men are afraid to speak up. Real men are afraid to stand on principles. Real men are afraid to be who they were meant to be openly in this society because they're afraid they won't fit in. But let me tell you something. You still don't fit in. When you acquiesce to people's demand, you don't fit in. You fit into the position they want you to fit in, but you don't fit in with them. That's why it's so easy to cast someone away who does what you want them to do and becomes who you want them to become. It's easy to cast them away. Why? Because they have no use to you after they're done with those tasks that you have assigned them. But someone who stands on principle and has that unique quality about themselves and they enhance that quality throughout their lives, you always need it because it's unique. You can't get it anywhere else except from them. And so say what you want to say about Umar. But a lot of things that Umar says are bagged by the Most High, are bagged by spiritual astuteness, are bagged by masculine energy. Is he always right? No, he's wrong. Sometimes he's wrong. But in this situation, he's not. Because let me tell y'all something right now. If you have a fractured relationship with a child from their childhood, you can't make up for that shit in adulthood. You can establish a relationship with them as adults, but you're a fool as a man if you try to make up for any messed up relationship with anybody, because you can't make up for it. The damage is done. You can't fix what's broken. You understand? You can't fix it. It's already done. What you can try to do is try to build a bunch of positivity on top of that negativity. If they want to. If they don't, screw them. All you could do is extend the olive branch and make sure the olive branch is out there. And that's with your children, that's with your parents, that's with your friends, that's with your siblings, that's with your classmates, that's with your whoever, that's with your coaches, that's with whoever is from your past. If there's a fractured relationship, never try to fix a fractured relationship. Try to build a new relationship. Because all you're going to do by trying to fix a fractured relationship is be used and abused and continue to be refused by a person, because all they want to do is punish you for the past. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a grown-ass man, ain't nobody punishing me willingly. I'm not willingly accepting nobody punish me but God. You understand? Anybody else, they got to force their punishment on me. The only punishment I'm accepting is from God, because the only blessings I get come from God as well. All right, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this topic, man. I know some of y'all going to be on both sides of the fence, and this is an open discussion, man. Listen, don't be disrespecting people down in these comments, man. I'm a grown man, and so I expect and demand mature behavior down in these comments. If you come here acting like a child, throwing a temper tantrum or calling people names or any of that, don't worry about it. You'll get it off, but then I'm going to block you, and you won't come in on this channel ever again. We gonna maintain some order over here. We grown folk over here. And if you too young to be able to do that and you can't handle that level of maturity, then unsubscribe from this channel. Go somewhere else. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this Prism of the Ism. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace.